極意へとまた一歩近づいたな。お主に教えることはもう何もない。
それ毎日言ってるよね。
霊落の王墓での戦いで杖が壊れてしまったので、
Yeah,
直しに行きたいとフリーレン様に伝えました。
but
そうしたら古い杖は捨てて新しい杖を買った方がいいと。
attachment.
アゴナだからもう直せないって言っていたぜ。
But that staff meant a lot to
それ
you,
でもあれ
yeah.
はハイター様からもらった杖です。
There's so much value to it. Materialism.
じゃあラビーネちゃん、なでなでしてあげよっか。やんのか？
Nah, she wants you to pet her head.
早くしろ。
Yeah.
わしは今客としてここにいる。
ならさっさと選べ。
あげる。
いらん。
権威をバカにし、目的のためなら弱者を足蹴にすることもいとわない。とても褒められたような人間ではない。なのにわしはお前に何の嫌悪も抱いていない。そう悲観するなということだ。
There's always next
3
year.
年後のお前は今よりずっと強くなっている。
Yep. 3 years from now, but there's always an opportunity.
おいぼれが結局何も買ってかないのか。
No, he just used the opportunity to talk to you.
Huh?
Frieren? Yep.
町の人たちに聞いて回ったんだけど、ここならどんなに壊れた杖でも修理できるんだよね。
Frieren's trying to make amends after having that fight with Fern, it seems.
こんなゴミをよこされても困る。
ゴミじゃないよ。多分。
Probably. Trying to learn what it means to be human. A part of being human is being materialistic to a degree. So does this count as restoration magic?
手入れの行き届いたいい杖だ。さぞかし大事にされていたんだろう。
Cuts to the person who's taking care of it.
フリーレン様は私のことをまるで分かっていません。
そんなの俺だってわかんねえ。
やめてよ。
These sound effects.
わかろうとするのが大事だと思うんだよ。
What matters is that she tries. I've been saying it since the early episodes. What matters is that she tried.
ああ、お前フリーレンとこの二次試験が終わったばかりだっていうのに、今日はお前の師匠のおかげで散々だった。いっそのこと慎重してくれた方がこっちも儲かるってのにな。大
Hey.
事にしろよ。
Ah.
私の杖。
フリーレンは感情や感性に
This music is getting me to me. Ah! Fuck you, Evan Call. Crying over a staff.
彼女以上の死はなかなかいませんよ。
She's gonna fall off the bed sooner or later, man. Ah, beautiful shot. The parallels between Frieren and Frieren there.
それではこれより第三次試験を始めます。
Alright.
なぜ私がここまで出向いたか、
Siri?
理由はわかるか？
Oh. I wonder if she's gonna be... Yeah, I wonder if she's gonna be the one who's doing the third test.
フリーレン様ですね。
おかげで実力に見合わないものまで大勢合格した。
Yeah.
謝る必要はない。すべてフリーレンが悪い。
Already pointing fingers.
第三次試験は私が担
Oh,
当する。
there we go.
平和的に選別してやる。
A peaceful selection, she says.
ゼイリエ様のわがままは今に始まったことではありませんから。
He's the old dude, wasn't he? The one who let Frieren and Fern enter.
彼女は魔力を制限しています。
And he knows about it.
絶大な魔力です。ゼイリエ様に匹敵するほどの。
Equal to yours.
彼女の魔力は試験会場で直接見ました。あの魔力は制限されたものとは思えません。
The difference between the skills of a mage.
魔力を持った生物である限り、 消せるものではありません。
He still have much to learn then.
その実用的でない技術にフリーレンは生涯を捧げた。
Impractical, she says.
熟練の魔法使いの戦いにおいて相手の魔力を見誤るというのは
Feet shots? Really? Really?
年の割には技術の甘い魔法使いだが、そうやって魔族を打ち倒してきた。
For her age, she says. How old is she? Sari, I mean. They've alluded that she's probably the oldest in the world, right? To the point where there's potential that she has actually met the goddess herself.
それだけに残念でならん。これだけの境地に立っておきながら、追い先はもう短い。
Now that's the cloak from the opening.
人間の弟子は取るものではないな。
Damn.
本当に残念だ。
Some things just never change.
私の魔力の揺らぎが。
Whoa. Whoa. Oh, that's beautiful. And kind of intimidating, like it's a really big room.
不合格だ。帰れ。
Just like that, huh?
今もお前は私の魔力に恐怖を感じている。自分の身の丈がよく分かっているんだ。
Okay.
魔法の世界では、イメージできないものは実現できない。
Ooh, I love
基
that.
礎の基礎だ。帰れ。
It's kind of a running theme in these past couple of episodes.
不合格。不合格だ。お前は私が合格を出すとは微塵も思っていない。
事実でしょ。
Fascinating.
一度だけチャンスをやる。好きな魔法を言ってみろ。
A spell to make
花
flowers.
畑を
実にくだらない。不合格だ。
そう。
So, the episode title is An Era of Humans. I wonder if Fern's gonna pass the test then. And I feel like that's gonna be the case, is it?
ねえヒンメル、どうして私を仲間にしたの？
Oh,
強い魔法使いを探していたからね。
but there's more to that.
フリーレン、君は覚えていないだろうけれども、
Oh.
昔僕は一度だけ君と会ったことがある。
Oh, okay.
もう二度と村に帰れないかと思ったよ。
Whoa.
本当に方向を教えるだけで励ましの言葉一つ口にしなかった。子供心になんて冷たい人だと思ったよ。
But also very mystical, right?
君は僕に花畑を出す魔法を見せてくれた。
Oh. Oh.
綺麗だと思ったんだ。
And that's why
生まれて
he's
初めて魔法が綺麗だと思う。
that's why he's the goat. He's been praising her this entire oh my god. He's the goat. He's the goat.
ただの偶然に過ぎないことだけれども、ヒンメルたちと出会わせてくれたのは先生が教えてくれたくだらない魔法だよ。
Love that.
フェルンも同じように不合格にするつもりだろうけれども、多分それはできないよ。
I doubt you'll be able to.
あの子はゼーリエの想像を超えるよ。
Hmm.
人間の時代がやってきたんだ。
Title of the episode.
私の魔力を見て立ちすくんでいる。他の受験者と何ら変わらん。
She's not frozen in place. She's entranced. She's amazed, I would say.
揺らいでいる。
The thing that they could not notice.
フェルンとか言ったな。お前、私の弟子になれ。
Wait, what?
嫌です。
What?
悪いようにはしない。
Whoa. Nice animation.
それは合否と関係があるのですか？
Good question.
あるかもしれない。
Perhaps.
ゼーリエがいろいろと言ってくると思うけれども、要求を飲む必要はないよ。
Hmm.
私がゼーリエに何を言っても不合格になるように、フェルンは何を言っても合格になる。
The confidence.
フリーレンの入れ知恵だな。私は有望な魔法使いを見逃すほどバカじゃない。合格だ。
And there we go.
次。
What an interesting, fascinating episode. Oh,
宮廷魔法使いの伝剣。
here we go.
私は燃えかすには興味はない。
Whoa.
そう思っていたのだがな。
Oh, or so you believed.
私を見たとき、どう戦うか考えただろう。合格だ。まだ燃えている。
Okay, there we go.
次。合格だ。
Uh,
お前、ふざけるなよ。
a projection?
一応この通り生身の僕も試験会場に来ているよ。じゃなきゃ不参加で。
この試験期間中、本体は故郷の村から出ていないな。今はのんびりティータイムか。
What?
驚いた。
Wait, what?
いい度胸だ。合格。
And he...
次。
Wait, what? This entire... Ah, shit. He might be goated. Had me fooled the entire arc.
好きな魔法を教えろ。
魔法ってのは殺しの道具だぜ。好きも嫌いもあるか。
Hmm.
合格だ。
ちっちゃくて可愛いなと思いました。
今年の受験者はどうなっている。合格だ。
What? What? She... What?
落ちちゃった。次があるさ。
もうついてくるなよ。
That's not even the real... That's not even the real body.
フリーレン。ここまで来れたのはお前たちのおかげだ。
Hmm.
これで故郷に墓参りに行ける。
Right.
遠慮せず食べなさい。わしの若い頃は甘いものなんてめったに食べられなかった。
This is nice.
誰なの？
I love that cut.
お貴族様じゃねえか。
He's learned from past experience.
わしが20半ばの時に妻に先立たれた。
Hmm.
もともと体が弱かった。ゼーリエが特権を掲げて大陸魔法協会を樹立したのは妻が亡くなってほどなくしてからだ。あれほどの無力感はない。わしにとって魔法は清掃の道具でしかなかった。フリーレンに伝えてくれんか。
Wow.
わしは勇者一行のフリーレンに憧れて魔法使いになったんだ。
Wow. I'm guessing
さ
that...
すがは魔法都市オイサーストだね。
Of course. Of course. But I'm guessing this episode is gonna have a lot of farewells and goodbyes.
このカゴに入れればいいのか。あれを無視はねえだろ。
私だって少しは悩んだよ。
But then you came in and helped. You were there first.
俺の故郷は北の辺境でな。勇者ヒンメルの逸話はいくらでも残っている。
That's cool.
やれ村を襲った魔物を退治しただの。やれ商人の護衛をしただの。ひどいもんだと。単なる荷物運びまであった。
Wow. Kind of seeing like how all of these characters have been affected by the legendary party of heroes.
俺をここまで連れてきたのは勇者ヒンメルのくだらない冒険譚だ。
Hmm. It's not the tall tales. It's the smaller ones.
出会いは大切にしろよ。今生の別れってのは何も死別だけじゃない。
Oh. Death is not the only goodbye in this world.
こんな小さな人助けに何の意味がある。
確かに小さな人助けだ。きっとこんなことをしたって世界は変わらない。でも僕は目の前で困っている人を見捨てるつもりは。
Why is he so good?
大丈夫だよ、ヒンメル。世界はちゃんと変わっている。
The world has changed. You're not the only one helping people. Other people are helping other people.
みんなで一緒に行きましょう。
すごく嫌そうな顔してる。
申し訳ありません。ゼーリエ様からの通達でフリーレン様は出禁です。
Oof.
今後1000年は
For the next 1,000 years. Oh.
仕方がないよ。ゼーリエの機嫌を損ねてしまったからね。
Man, Siri is
全く子供みたいな人だよね。まあ私も来たくて来たわけじゃないし。
Oh.
この時代ではきっとフェルンの方が有名な魔法使いになるんだろうね。
Yeah. I love that she's holding the necklace that nobody knows its meaning.
フリーレン様。
Oh. Except for you, of course. He's the only one who knows. What do you see?
とんでもない手だれだ。平和な時代には似つかわしくないね。
ゼーリエ様の弟子の中で歴史に名を残したのはもはやおとぎ話となった大魔法使いフランメのみ。
Spoken in fairy tales.
私はあの方を未来で一人孤独にさせたくないのです。
Oh.
たとえそれが伝説の魔法使いフリーレン様を討ち取ったという悪名であろうとも。
What?
手合わせを願えますか、フリーレン様。
手合わせはしないよ。時間の無駄だ。歴史に名を残す必要なんてないよ。
Ooh. Ooh. That thematic sentence, though.
魔法で作られたものだ。
それがどうした？
Really
先
now?
生が好きだった魔法だ。
その後もたくさんの弟子を取ったよ。気まぐれで取ったはずの弟子なのに、一人一人の性格も好きな魔法も鮮明に思い出せる。なぜか私は弟子を取って後悔したことは一度もないんだ。
Character development.
自分の弟子にすら素直に気持ちを伝えられないんだ。本当に子供みたいな人だよ。
本当に不器用な人だ。
Awkward indeed.
シュタルク、今日は何して遊ぶ？
シュタルク、朝飯は食ったか？
Oh, look at this. Look at this.
これ飲んでおいきよ。
お、ありがとう。
Stark making an impact on the people of Oisas. He's been helping them a lot.
昨日はどんな魔法をもらったの？
Good question.
服の汚れをきれいさっぱり落とす魔法です。これで洗濯が楽になります。
さすがは生ける魔導書ゼーリエだね。神話の時代に
I
存
love
在
it.
したとされる伝説級の魔法だよ。
A legendary level spell? Really? I love it. Choose the mundane spells. I love it.
ゼーリエ様はすごく嫌そうな顔をしていましたけどね。
She's making the face as well. I love that. I love that.
フリーレン、本当にありがとうね。
Yes. Yes, people coming in and thanking Frieren.
元気でね。
じゃあまたね。
またね。
See you later. Whoa.
でも旅を続けている以上また会うことだってあるだろう。涙の別れなんて僕たちには似合わない。
Goodbyes. Wow. Showing the grave. Hey. Oh. I see Zion has been busy.
また会った時に恥ずかしいからね。
何ですかそれは。
Would be embarrassing when we meet again. The journey to Ende continues. Wow. That's it, huh? That's the end of the episode. Alright. Alright, it's been more than a day since I've actually finished watching this show. Giving it a couple of, some time for me to reflect on the journey and, the series, the show as a whole. Overall, I would say fantastic season. Frieren has been an incredible series, at least from like the very beginning, and then it just gets better and better and better in terms of like animation, visual presentation, everything. But before I talked about like Frieren as a whole, talking about these two episodes, that I just watched, I would say it's a great way to end this specific arc. And I do think that they did their best in order to make this the finale for the series. Like, to me, like, it's obvious that this, at this point within the story, it's never meant to be, like a finale to a season of a show or whatever. But they tried their best, and I think they've done a pretty good job at making the finale of the arc of the Mage exam be the finale for the season as a whole, tying it all with the thematic elements of Frieren, the show, in terms of the era of humans, in terms of saying goodbyes, and having that be the central core of the finale, instead of, let's say, having the bombastic action extravaganza that the episodes before this, like when Frieren was fighting Frieren, that felt like a finale to to the Mage exam, like that feels like the proper way. But no, that's not the case. No, we're doing something different, and I appreciate for what they've done, because ultimately having Siri be the one who proctors the final third exam, and it's just a matter of, oh, you're not fit for the job. You failed. Why? Because you see me and you feel scared. That's pretty much it. And there is that level of bluntness that hits me, that, yeah, this honestly feels real, right? It's probably the most realistic part of this whole Mage exam. The previous one, look, over the top, action extravaganza, incredible display of animation. I really enjoyed it. I really do. But by the end of it, a part of me does question, wait a minute, all of these people who passed the test didn't really pass the test. You know what I mean? Like, Frieren's the one who made them pass the test, because she was the one who's fighting the big boss, and everybody else was just holding back, right? So having that be addressed immediately in the third and final exam, where Siri's just looking at all of the people that we saw pass, and it's clear which ones, at least for me, like the ones that pass are the ones that, oh yeah, obviously they're gonna pass, like Denkin and Lan Yubel. These are the characters that we've been following the most in terms of side characters throughout the Mage exam, and they're the ones that have probably the most character development, and the ones that we kind of know the most in terms of like their story, their backstory even, right, and their characteristics, their personality. Like, they're the ones that we kind of grown attached to the most. And they've also showcased like their incredible skills in combat. So like, yeah, it makes sense that some of these characters are the ones who passed the test. The only one that didn't pass the test that that I would say kind of hit just a bit was probably Kane, because like we follow Kane and Lawine first, right, when we start this Mage exam. So just to see Kane fail, though it makes sense why she fails, because out of all of the characters, I do think that she's not fit for the role just yet. Give her time, like, and especially considering that Lawine didn't pass the test as well, it makes this really nice. Well, she didn't, kind of didn't pass the test this year, but what that means is that she's gonna be with Lawine again in the next year, and there, like, there's no game of catch up. Like, it's not like, oh, you passed the test, I didn't. Well, see you next year. But no, they're gonna be together, and I like that. I like that they both are sticking together to the very end, right? So in that regards, I really enjoyed. In terms of like the other characters that did pass the test, two stand out. Well, three actually. Let's talk about Yubel first. I really love that Siri just looks at Yubel and said, "No, you passed." Like, there's no questioning, there's no nothing. Like, Siri knows. Like, one thing that Frieren talks about during the finale or these two set of episodes is that Siri's intuition is always correct. That's how, at least that is from Frieren's perspective. Like, Siri's intuition, Siri's I would say her decisions are all based on something that is understandable and thus correct to a degree, right? And just seeing Yubel, and we know what Yubel is capable of, and just seeing Siri go, oh yeah, you passed the test. I'm not even gonna question you. Just from the aura itself, it's like, yeah, it makes sense. And the other two that I mentioned, that kind of caught my eye, Lan, who who bamboozled me, who fooled me throughout this entire exam, because not only is he not here and it's just a projection this entire time, but he's been doing it in his home. The fact that nobody knew about it, the show isn't telling me, like, I'm being fooled. Like, I thought, oh, he has to be there, you know, like, I thought there has to be like some proximity in terms of like making his clones. No, he can do that like kilometers away, presumably. And I think that that genius, you know, like that careful insight got him to pass the test. Like I was like bamboozled. I was laughing, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, if somebody's this smart in doing so, in cautiously preparing himself and also fooling everybody else in the vicinity, except of course probably the most powerful entity in the world for the time being, you know, like with Siri, like, yep. The final one was Methode, I think is her name, Method or Methode, but I think what it again bamboozled me when I was first watching it, but upon reflection, it does make sense that she passed the test, because the test is basically, if you are scared of Siri, then you failed, right? Siri's overwhelming aura is immense, and it is terrifying if you can sense it, right? And if you are a top of the class mage, then of course you're gonna sense it, right? You can see it, but it only takes a skilled one like let's say like Fern to realize that the aura is fluctuating and such. But the fact that Methode came in, got close to Siri, and she's not afraid of Siri, but instead just calls her, yeah, you're small and you're cute, praising her, basically. There is no animosity here. There is no reflex, you know, like some of the other characters kind of showed like, oh, hold on, you know? So having that mentality of not being afraid of something that you should be afraid ultimately got her the win, ultimately got her to pass the exam. And it's something that obviously we kind of see in her. Like, we barely seen her throughout this entire exam, but the parts that we do see her pretty much showcases that when she's looking at Fern and looking at Frieren before the fight, and she's giving her own thoughts and opinions on the two of them. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. Now, obviously, the two characters that I've been kind of ignoring throughout this entire segment is, of course, Frieren and Fern in terms of like passing and failing the test. Frieren failing the test, not a surprise there, because ultimately this part of the test isn't really about Frieren anymore, it's about Fern, right? Ever since Frieren decided to fight other Frieren and telling Fern, or making the plan of, hey, Fern, you can defeat me. The moment that happens, it's kind of clear that Fern should be the one who's winning and not Frieren, right? Frieren's time is over. This is the era of humans. This is the age where the humans are finally gonna come in and surpass the elves and all of the other races in terms of their prowess and their what's the word I'm looking for? And their ability to understand magic. I mean, look at Yubel, for example. Siri talked about during these finale that the fundamentals of magic is that you need to visualize the magic in order to conjure the magic, right? And then you have Yubel here who's like, yeah, I don't get any of that, but I have my imagination, and I imagine that my powers can defeat your powers, and therefore I win. I imagine that my paper can beat your scissor, therefore I win. That's basically Yubel in a nutshell. And that overpowered mastery of magic, and she doesn't even care. Like, she's probably the most dangerous person to have this sort of power and ability, right? Again, it goes to show that this is the next generation. This is the next generation of mages, the next generation of magic use, right? And it's like part of the themes of Frieren. It's like evolving. It's about change. Hundreds of years ago, people don't know how to use Zoltrak. Now it's just ordinary offense magic. Hundreds and maybe thousands of years from now in the future, people might just be telecommunicating with their minds telepathically, and it'll be normal in this world, and that is exciting. And speaking of thousands of years, it is kind of funny that Frieren is basically banned to go into this place for 1,000 years. But the irony is that Frieren's probably going to be alive in 1,000 years. Like, she's still going to be alive. The fact that Ciri is way older than Frieren kind of, adds to the point that, yeah, Frieren's going to live for maybe the next 5,000, 6,000, 8,000, 10,000 years for all we care, for all we know, right? So, her getting banned for 1,000 years doesn't really matter, it's a mere 1,000 years, as Ciri says. But yeah, good stuff on that regard, and I do love that eventually Fern is the one who got the first class certificate and not Frieren. They still are able to move beyond to the northern border at this point because of that. But yeah, good stuff. Beyond that, I would say the other thing that this finale really got to me was, of course, the goodbyes, like I mentioned before. The final episode, we center a lot on goodbyes, not just for our characters, but also for the side characters. This is probably our final time meeting them, right? We may meet them again in the future, who knows, right? I mean, we kind of met Kraft the Monk at the start of this Mage exam arc, right? Who knows if we're going to be meeting Denkin again, if we're going to be meeting Yubel again, and all of these other characters, Lawine, Kane. Again, like, the journey to Ende, to the edge of the world, is going to take 10 years, right? And how many years that we've gone through in order to get there? Not much, right? In the next 3 years, these characters, like Lawine, Kane, they're going to be going through the Mage exam again, and they're probably going to pass the test. Maybe not, I don't know. But it just goes to show that in the next 3, 4, 5 years in the future, we're still going to be traveling to the north. There's still potential that we're going to be meeting these characters again, right? And even Zane, for example, like, by the end of that montage, Zane looks like he looks like he's having fun with an older woman, but yeah, good on him. But yeah, the thought of goodbyes and the idea that, death is not the only goodbye, is not the only final goodbye in this world. It's not the only goodbye, or something along the lines. I love that. And having the flashback of Himmel as he's talking about these goodbyes, really well done. Also flashing back even further beyond into how Frieren and Himmel met for the very first time. That kind of caught me off guard, but I do love that they kind of show that to basically show that these characters, especially Himmel and Frieren, are somehow intertwined with one another. But it's also showing that Frieren's one could say uneventful moment for her, where she's just pointing the way, like, you're lost, it's that way, that's the way home, and then showing young Himmel, look at this field of flowers that I'm making. Like, for Frieren, that might just be another day in the life, right? The fact that Frieren kind of forgot about that, kind of proves my point that yeah, that's just like a normal occurrence. That's just a normal thing. You know, like it's a daily event. You know, like something that you're gonna forget in a week. But for Himmel, this is a core memory. For Himmel, this is like a life-changing event. And it's this simple act of kindness that Frieren did to Himmel that encourages and inspires Himmel to do the same, to become the hero, right? It's the reason why he's helping a lot of other people along their way. It's the reason why he's choosing every single side quest imaginable and ignoring the main quest. Like, we're not beelining to the main quest. No, we're gonna be 100% completing this entire game. We're gonna be helping every single person that we're gonna be meeting along the way, and we're gonna get rewards. Doesn't matter if it's important or not. It doesn't matter if it's a simple fetch quest where you're I'm using video game terms, I'm sorry. But it doesn't matter if you're helping a person clean their pot or find their missing amulet or go to the dungeon and save their kids or whatever. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you are helping these people, no matter how big or small their request is. And I think that is the main message that Himmel is trying to tell us, right? That's like the core of Himmel's character. It's like helping everybody. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter like what the request is. Help people and then you get rewarded. That's it. You don't have to ask for a reward, but you will be rewarded nonetheless, whether it is through simple kindness or gold. And I just find it to be beautiful. Perfectly captures Himmel's character as the hero that we all praise and love. I mean, Himmel's the GOAT. But it's how, again, what I'm trying to get at is that Frieren's kindness inspires Himmel to act kind, and Himmel's act of kindness then inspires Frieren again. Like, it's all looping back. Like, it's basically telling Frieren, you do not understand how important this simple thing that you are doing, like, it means a lot to me. You need to understand that. And throughout this entire journey, it is Frieren understanding that, oh, these simple acts of kindness is going to mean a lot to other people. You know, maybe it doesn't mean a lot to me, but it means a lot to those people. And the fact that it means a lot to those people, I don't know what I was going there. I kind of blanked out. I'm sorry. You get what I'm saying, though. You get what I'm trying to say, right? Ultimately, all of this also ties back to like the very beginning of episode 26, or wait, no, not 26, 27, where Frieren and Fern was apparently having a fight off screen, talking about the staff that got broken. Ultimately, Frieren understands that no, this staff is important to Fern. This staff has importance. It has meaning, it has value. And so Frieren decided to, okay, instead of buying a new one, I'm going to try to repair this because obviously this means a lot. And if it means a lot to you, then I'm trying to understand not just how, not just why, but I'm also trying to understand how your feelings is going to affect me. And that's basically Frieren's like entire journey throughout this entire time, right? Again, like I said, Frieren's trying to understand human emotions. She's trying to understand human thought. Materialism, what the hell is that? It's human nature, right? You get attached to a random object. It may not mean much to some people, but it may mean much to you. It may mean something to you, you know? And that's the important part. It's to understand that, okay, it may not mean much. It may not mean much to me. Like, I look at you and you're holding this doll, for example, and to me, that's just a random doll. To me, it doesn't mean anything. To me, it's like, why do you still have that? You're a grown person, for example, right? But to me, that's apathy. That's me not trying to understand you. Me trying to understand you is saying, doesn't mean much to me, but I know it means much to you, and you're more important. So whatever makes you happy, I'll try my best to make you happy. And that's basically Frieren. That's Frieren understanding Fern. And I love that. My words are getting a bit jumbled. It's late at night, so excuse me if some of these things make no sense. Hopefully I get across what I'm trying to say. But yeah, fantastic end to the series. Sorry, not to the series, to the season. Series wise, looking forward to the next journey, the new adventures of Frieren and Stark. I haven't even talked about Stark yet. Stark is becoming the Himmel of this world, right? We see that through those montages of the people being extra kind to Stark. Excuse the pun. What a stark contrast to when we first met Stark, where the people are praising Stark for something that he didn't really do, right? He didn't technically defeat the dragon. He just stood there and he thinks that he doesn't really deserve all of this praise. Now, he's helping people and we don't even get to see it. And that's the best part. We're so preoccupied with Frieren and Fern and their mage exam. We don't even see Stark. We only see glimpses of that when we return from the mage exam and have, a day of rest, and then we catch up to Stark, and then suddenly we see Stark just suddenly being trained by an old person that we have no idea who that is. But it's the fact that we don't see it, but we know what he did nonetheless. He's helping people, and to me it also speaks volume that you don't need to see somebody help other people to know that they're a good person, right? You see through the what's the word I'm looking for? You see through their impact to the world, right? We're not seeing Stark helping other people. We are seeing other people thanking Stark and being happy. That's the best part. So overall, fantastic first season of Frieren. I think this is a tour de force in animation, in anime, in visual storytelling. From episode 1 up until the final episode, to me, there was never a dip in quality. Like, everything felt consistent. If anything, there is increase in quality at times. Something that I am kind of wary about once, whenever season 2 gets announced, like hopefully it gets announced and we get a second season, because I do want to see this story continue, right? Am I going to be reading the manga? Nope. Anime only. I mean, with presentation like this, I'm sticking to the anime. Like there's no reason for me to read ahead in the manga. At least, again, that's just my personal opinion. Like, I've always been somebody who much prefers the audio-visual presentation of stories than just visual presentation, like, let's say, in manga. And when the audio-visual presentation, at least here in the anime medium, is this good, I would rather have this experience as my first-time experience. But I do hope that we get a season 2 announcement, or we see more in the future. What I am worried about, as I mentioned before, is that I worry that the next seasons of Frieren may not capture the same quality of this season. Like, I'm the one thing that I am afraid is that they're gonna be pushing the second season faster than they need. Like, this show is getting popular, like it's getting highly rated, we need to get season 2 up ASAP. Like, I don't want that. Let the animators, let the director, let everybody else, working in this project, give them the time and the resources that they need, because obviously I haven't seen an anime production that is this good, that is also, how do I word this? haven't seen an anime production this good and not hearing troubled production behind the scenes. Sometimes I watch an anime and it looks good, but there's also troubled behind the scenes stuff where things are just kind of falling apart and they're trying their best to, release the episodes as best as they can. And that's like the sad reality of the Japanese anime industry currently speaking. But at least for Frieren, I haven't heard any of that. I might be ignorant and there might be, but at least those types of news has never reached me. I've never seen that in my timeline or whatever. So I'm just hoping that when this staff and this crew continues Frieren, it's still in the same condition, maybe better than this, because what they've done and what they've accomplished is something to be commended, something to be praised at. The music's phenomenal. Evan Call is a underrated composer. I think his work in Violet Evergarden is fantastic. It was phenomenal, but Frieren's soundtrack is just there's something about Frieren's soundtrack that transports you into this world, into this fantasy medieval-esque world, as I mentioned, and it was just a joy to listen to that soundtrack. And I hope Evan Call makes more anime soundtracks in the future, please, because again, he's very underrated and very underutilized in the anime industry, and I need more Evan Call soundtracks in my life. Thank you. But yeah, fantastic season. I think in terms of its storytelling, its themes, its ideas, and its execution of these ideas, they were really, really well done in my eyes. I would say there is this shift when we enter the second half of the show that I have seen some people criticize, not just in the comment section, but also in other video reactions, because now that I'm finished watching the show, I can finally watch other people's reactions and reviews and such. And there's a couple of, I would say, criticisms in regards to the second half during the Mage exam and such. I don't mind the Mage exam. I thought it was well done, though I will say that if I had to choose between the first half of the show and the second half of the show, I'll probably choose the first half of the show a lot more. But that isn't to say that the second half of the show was bad. No. To me, it's not. To me, it's great. It's a nice change in pace for me, and it's also a good way to not only for world building purposes, but also to show a different side of the adventure. Like we've seen the I would say the peaceful adventurings of the first half, except for like the demon stuff, which not peaceful at all. But then once we enter like the Mage exam, we see more use of the combat system. We see more of the magical abilities. We see how these people use and utilize these magical abilities, and we see the various different like perspectives on how to use these magical abilities. And I think that's like the main purpose and the main point of the Mage exam. It's to widen the magical sphere of Frieren, and also to showcase that the era of humans is coming. The age where humans are using these magical spells that would otherwise be deemed useless in thousands of years ago. Now they're utilizing it to its fullest potential. I mean, Siri, I think I talked about this in a previous episode discussion, but the fact that Siri looked at like the spell to cast flowers as kind of useless, but then you see a character during the Mage exam using that spell to create a field of flowers so that it can become ammunition for offensive magic. That goes to show that the human imagination and the creativity in using various different spells to your advantage has surpassed the understandings of the old era, as I'll say it right now, you know? So yeah, really good show. Fantastic, incredible. One of the best shows, one of the best animes, I would say, that I've seen in the past couple of years. Definitely one of the most impressive displays, as I've mentioned before. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy my journey of Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Leave your thoughts, your comments, in the comment section. It's not down below anymore. It's leave your comment section in the right. I don't know if you guys have been through this, but the YouTube UI has changed again. So for me, the comment section and the description is no longer in the bottom, it's in the right. So leave your comments in the right if that's how you look at YouTube now, or leave your comments down below if you're still using the old version of YouTube. I don't know. I don't know what's happening anymore. Hope you guys enjoy. Catch you all next time for the next season of Frieren whenever that comes out, or see you all in different shows on the channel. I will catch you all later. Take care, everybody. Have a nice day. Peace.